Hey guys, in this video I just want to talk about my live-based Whispering Ice Trapper that I have been playing. Had been playing. As many of you should know, I really hate doing CI builds. And not just because I cannot use life flasks, but it is mainly because I cannot use life flasks. But with a new Mask of the Stitch Demon, it is now possible to do an old CI builds as a live based. Like Whispering Eyes, because you are stacking intelligence, or Hand of Wisdom in action. Or basically anytime when you have more intelligence than life, you can still implement this unique helmet into your build and get a lot of life. Now, the build is not finished and it's never gonna be finished because my character met an unexpected but certainly deserved extinction. This kind of character and item extinction usually happens every couple months when I get fed up with clunky builds and I just delete. But luckily I did save the build in Path of Building. Rip to Exalt. So I really like the idea of Whispering Ice Trapper using this helmet and using Slave Driver's hands. So I wouldn't need to worry about my mana, wouldn't need to go mind over matter. And after comparing other people's Whispering Ice builds to this, I even got more damage and over 6k life, but that was just on paper. When I started playing, it was great, at least at the start, while going through the acts, because I didn't really need a lot of, survivability, and it did feel pretty good. And in some cases the damage was even insane. I even had about 1000 more life than I usually have when I finish Act 10. By the way, this helmet alone gives me over 700 life. 700 life! And that is with less than 700 intelligence. But of course I do have a lot of life scaling from the passive skill tree. Also I am, or should I say, I was using Coward's Legacy belt. Now this belt has a pretty massive drawback because it gives 50% increased effect of curse on you and curses you with level 20 vulnerability. However, it allows you to be on low life by not being on low life, like a fake low life. And that allows to use Pain Attunement for 30% more spell damage. Now you cannot use the Warding Flask. If you don't understand why I'm laughing, don't worry about that. Warding Flask basically removes the curse, and that means you lose the benefit of this belt. Now, in order to counter the massive vulnerability on me, I was using Watcher's Eye. Unaffected by vulnerability while affected by determination aura. These Watcher's Eye are not that expensive, however I had double determination Watcher's Eye, which was a bit more expensive. So that's one cool way to counter the vulnerability on you. However, you are still being cursed by enemies with different curses which have 50% increased effect on you. But that part I have not solved. You can use Tukyo rings or like be Guardian which gives 25% reduced effect of curse, but you cannot use Warding Flask. So I'm not really sure if this belt is worth it, but at least that's one way to mitigate vulnerability. I was also playing with Sunblast belt with 2 cheap construction to instantly detonate traps, but it still felt so clunky to play with this build. First, there is a delay of throwing the traps, then waiting for the traps to trigger even if it is instant, there's still slight delay, and then waiting for the ice storm to actually start hitting an enemies. And this kind of clunkiness, this kind of delay made the build feel so squishy. I had to deviate from my initial plan a lot. I did try using Blasphemy with Temp Chain, Blasphemy and Feeble. And remember, I do have Determination, which increases my armor, and I had, well less than 3k armor still. But I had pretty terrible body armor. And oh, by the way, this is Inquisitor because, well, it's actually not the best choice. Cyan would have been better, but I just didn't know which way I'm gonna be going with this build. So I wanted to pick Inquisitor for the mana regen while on consecrated ground, which by the way also gives me a lot of life regen. But even if I had went for Cyan Saboteur to get the regen and blind, it would still not solve the issues of being too clunky. And that's the main issue. Traps with Whispering Eyes is just too clunky, no matter what. Same goes for mines. Same goes for totems. Even Scorching Ray cast while channeling Whispering Eyes is still gonna feel clunky because there is a slight delay between starting channeling and actually triggering the Ice Storm. And then of course Ice Storm hitting the enemy slowly. But still, cast while channeling is probably one of the best options for Whispering Eyes. And that's all I'm gonna talk about this build. I'm not the one to quit builds easily, and I have pretty good tolerance against slow builds and not very effective builds, but the clunkiness of that build was just driving me insane. And now I feel like I have PTSD for clunky builds. So I actually started playing with Rain of Arrows, and as you know I don't really play with bows, especially with a Deadeye, and for now that build still has no memes inside it, so for me it's actually pretty boring. It just, shoot, arrows drop, enemies die, click flasks, move fast, repeat. So we'll see how long I'm gonna last on that build. But at least it is not annoying me, it just has damage, doesn't really have a lot of life currently. But I do gain a lot of life on hit, so I can survive I guess. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a build guide video about that Rain of Arrow build. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you soon.